Days before his trial, a former Memphis police officer accepted a deal, taking an Alford plea to a lesser charge of statutory rape. Jeffrey Jones was facing 2 counts of rape and a sexual battery by an authority figure charge. The indictment from 2019 stated he sexually penetrated and intentionally engaged in sexual contact with a teenage girl. We sat down with the teen's mother.
Encouraged by her friends to tell me what happened, and I immediately called the police, filed a report.
WREG investigators are not identifying the mother or her daughter, just that Jones wasn't a stranger to them, and it happened around the girl's 15th birthday.
She is going to live with this trauma the rest of her life.
At the time, Jones was working for the Memphis Police Department, a lieutenant with 22 years on the force. According to his employment file, MPD immediately launched an internal investigation. The mother telling Internal Affairs, in one encounter, Jones placed his hand down her daughter's pants and inappropriately touched her. Records go on to state a spy camera was also discovered, that Jones admitted to having his cell phone placed in an area where it could record footage from in the juvenile's bedroom without her knowledge. And this camera was pointed at her bedroom?
Yes.
And hidden?
Yes. Hidden in between some things on top of an armoire.
Jones was arrested in November 2019, booked and let out of jail 8 hours later. And then what happens after that?
COVID hit, so things were pushed back in the court systems.
Pushed back more than 3 years. In May, days before his trial was set, the district attorney's office delivered some news. Jones took a plea deal for a lesser charge.
Words can't even describe as a mother. It's basically telling my daughter that what happened was insignificant.
We also found out if the judge signs off, Jones won't spend any time behind bars either. He'll get a year probation with some stipulations. And get this, if he stays out of trouble during that year, he can request to have the statutory rape charge expunged from his record.
And that is the kick in the teeth. My daughter is going to live with this lifelong trauma that has happened to her, and he gets 1 year and can walk away as if it never happened.
She demanded a meeting with DA Steve Mulroy, but his office told us he was unavailable at the time, providing a deputy DA and or associate DA to meet with the family instead. The office also stated, after thoroughly evaluating the case, our prosecutors did not believe that there would be enough evidence to convict Mr. Jones. It's unclear what happened to the spy camera mentioned in MPD's records, and we may never know if the case is expunged in a year before any of the evidence becomes public record. What is clear, the victim says she was willing and ready to testify, and the DA's office still believes there's a red flag when it comes to Jones's trustworthiness. He's on their Giglio list, a list of officers whose credibility has been called into question.
How do you move on from something like this?
This mother continues to wonder whether this outcome is because Jones was once a police officer and knew the system well.
There's nothing that we can do.
The Memphis Police Department terminated Jones in 2020, and we learned it requested his decertification, meaning he would no longer be able to be a law enforcement officer in Tennessee. Jessica Gertler, WREG News Channel 3.